The 2021 NFL Draft will be remembered by the success of the 5 quarterbacks selected in the first 15 picks. How will each one of them fare in their rookie campaigns? Trevor Lawrence figures to be the Week 1 starter for the Jaguars, and if he plays anything like Justin Herbert did for the Chargers as a rookie, that would certainly be an encouraging start.
I don't know what the point is if you don't expect to win every week. I'm going to bring that same mindset. Obviously, it's going to be more challenging.
Zach Wilson also is likely to start for the Jets in Week 1. Can he turn around what has been an organizational turnstile at quarterback since Joe Namath? He certainly doesn't mind having lofty expectations.
I just got to earn my stripes now. You know, that draft spot is really just an opportunity to come in here and work as hard as I can.
Trey Lance, at least for now, is likely to back up Jimmy Garoppolo. Justin Fields will have to win the job with the Bears, as will Mac Jones with the Patriots. Will the 2021 Rookie of the Year come from the Big 5 quarterback class? The race begins this September. And with more on the NFL rookie quarterbacks and the likelihood that they'll be starters in Week 1, let's bring in our NFL insider, Jason Canfora. So things can change from now until the start of the season, obviously, Jason, but we're asking you to handicap the situation for each team and the likelihood that rookie quarterback percentage-wise will make it happen. For instance, Trevor Lawrence, 100% for Jacksonville, so we're skipping him. What's the percentage that Zach Wilson will start for the Jets?
Nothing's 100%. Come on, there's always the
You're
possibility
right.
that something goes wrong. Unfortunately, or as Kyle Shanahan would say, the world could end on any given Sunday. So, Zach Wilson, I think, pretty high probability. I guess I'd peg it around 90. It's not like that's being set up as some knockdown, drag-out quarterback competition. They want to start that rebuild, start getting this kid experience at the NFL level, and start building towards the future. Obviously, you would have liked a bigger sample size for any of these kids, right? You would have liked for everybody to have played a little more football and to play a little more football against truly elite competition. But sitting there at second overall, the way that team is, the composition of that roster right now and the quarterback depth chart, they could set up for this young man to play right away. So I'll say 90%. There's always caveats involved. Just, maybe not looking the part in the preseason, and then, injury as well.
All right, 90% for Zach Wilson with the Jets. This one will be a little more interesting. Percentage that Trey Lance will start Week 1 for the 49ers.
I don't think it's very high at all. I'll maybe say 15%. They've got Garoppolo there for a reason. Trey Lance is incredibly raw, played so little college football and so little recent college football. And the last time he went out there, it was pretty ugly. Now, do I think he can get on the field Week 1? Do I think that Kyle Shanahan will create opportunities for him, certain downs, distances, field position where they will have plays for him? I do. And maybe that starts as soon as Week 1. But I think Jimmy Garoppolo starts the season. We see what he can do. And this, to me, is kind of like Tua a year ago, where if you'd have asked me about Tua, I'd have said they're going to assess that for 4 to 6 weeks and then make a decision about where they are as a team and where they're going in the future. And the 49ers fancy themselves even more of a contending team than Miami did with Fitzpatrick last year. So I think maybe around the midpoint of the season, this becomes a talking point, depending on how Garoppolo is playing. I don't see it for Week 1.
All right, 15% is where you've pegged it. Let's move on to Justin Fields, the percentage that he will start for the Bears Week 1.
Oof, I'll say a coin toss, 50-50. He doesn't exactly have to beat out Murderer's Row there. And this is not a team or really a management group that is worried about how it looks to have dudes making a lot of money sitting on the bench. I can remember Trubisky being drafted and them giving Mike Glennon a pretty big contract at the time, and Trubisky not being, in my estimation, nearly the quarterback prospect, the NFL ready-ish prospect that Justin Fields is, and we all know how that thing played out. So I'm a big Justin Fields guy. It probably, should be maybe even higher than 50-50. But they did bring in Dalton for a reason. They do still have Nick Foles sitting there. I think Justin Fields is going to play a lot of football for them this year. But if we don't have normal off seasons, if it's mostly virtual, maybe they bleed him in a little bit through the course of the season.
Let me follow up on that, Jason, just because I think a lot of Bears fans are surprised to see that Ryan Pace lived to mortgage the house twice. You know, Mitchell Trubisky the first time and now for Justin Fields. So how much pressure do you think they are under to play Fields? If you think it's 50-50, why not go with the rookie there? Or do you think if they can stretch it out with the veteran to see how they're doing the first maybe 4 games of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at the NFC right now, and they did make the playoffs last year. They made it in a watered-down conference, in an expanded playoff field. But especially if Aaron Rodgers does get moved or just sits out, who in that division are you saying, oh, my God, they're a world beater? And then you expand it out to the field, and, okay, I mean, San Francisco, I guess they're better. Seattle's good for 10, 11 wins, but it's been a minute since Seattle looked like an absolute juggernaut and a team that was going to win multiple games in January, and their quarterback's got one eye on every place else. The East is still the least, right? I mean, somebody will win it, but is anybody, putting a crown on Dallas? So I think the best way for them to save their jobs is to win football games, and if they think Andy Dalton is a little more ready, then I think they lean that way and go a month into the season, and then what does our offense look like, and what does Fields look like running the scout team and in practice and in the film rooms? And then you can always go to plan B. But this is also another one where I think Fields gets on the field week 1. I just don't know that it's starting role.
All right, let's end with Mac Jones, a percentage you think he might start week 1 for the Patriots.
I'd say 80. There's always the possibility that Bill Belichick just leans to the veteran. And obviously they do like Cam Newton a lot, and they brought Cam Newton back for a reason. But they also drafted a quarterback for a reason, and they got their guy, and they got him where they wanted him without having to move up. And he knows this kid inside out. Belichick does through his relationship with Nick Saban. And I think they know Cam Newton's limitations right now in the passing game. And unless Cam Newton comes out in the preseason, in training camp, and looks like his mechanics and his arm are somewhere that we haven't seen it in 3 years, then I think it's Mac Jones. And I think this situation, Tommy, could be the flip side of some of these other scenarios I painted, where Mac Jones is the starter, and in the red zone, in 3rd and short, 4th and short, 3rd and 5 from the 15, we've got Cam Newton packages, but between the 20s and in most normal situations, we're rolling with Mac Jones.
It's interesting for all the struggles that Cam Newton had, including dealing with COVID. The one thing he could do was run the football, and he did so well there last season for New England. Jason, looking forward to look at the percentages of the rookie quarterbacks and the likelihood they would start week 1 for their teams. Jason, certainly appreciate it. Want you to check out also the All Things Covered podcast with our guy, 2-time Super Bowl champ Brian McFadden and Patrick Peterson. They've updated the podcast cover photo, if you will. No longer in the red. They've got the purple. He's going to be with the Minnesota Vikings for PP and BMAC. Make sure you download and follow. The last one they had Mr. Taylor talking about the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence, Fred Taylor, that is.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.